Good morning, everybody. Peace be upon you. Today, I have a special message to the G7, to the main intelligence systems of the world. And this is my message. You are aware that the earth is being hit left, right, center by earthquakes, by water deluge, and by fires. Since the year 2023, God has always been telling us to tell you that He'll hit this world because the world has gone into high levels of ungodliness and immorality. And since 2023, if you go to our social media accounts, mostly Facebook, in Wambogo and Mukuimodo, you'll see all those prophecies where God told us that He's going to strike the world through His Son, Yeshua, who has the kingdom. And as the book of Revelation 19:15 says, that from His mouth shall come forth a sword that will strike the nations. The whole world is aware, because now we have given you enough information about the setting up of the kingdom of Zion. And as Daniel 2:44-45 says, that in these days the God of heaven will set up a kingdom on earth. And He will bring down all the kingdoms here, including the economies. It is in Daniel 2:44-45. And we've been giving these warnings since 2021 about God bringing down the earthly kingdoms. We all know that as Satan told Jesus one time, that is Yeshua, that all the kingdoms of earth belong to him. We also know he was chucked out of heaven and brought down upon the earth. It is in the book of Revelation. It is the book of Revelation, and we have talked about that. And we are all aware that that kingdom that is being set up is going to remove the earthly kingdom. Recently, we gave you an illustration of how the earthly kingdoms run, and it's represented by the pyramid. And in a pyramid, you see, you can look at the one that is in Uhuru Park. I'm going to watch it at the end here. You can see at the top, there is one Kalea that is alone, that represents Lucifer or the Satan. They call him the light. And then we have the next 5 stairs that represent the 5 witches who control the economies and the spirituality of the world. And then we have the 5 stairs of the Illuminati Corps, the top rich 5 families led by the Rothschild that controls the economy of the world. Then now we have the other stairs that represent now the other rich, the government, the president, the prime ministers, the military commanders, the religious leaders, and all that. Then we have the masses. That is how this kingdom come. That is arranged, the Luciferic kingdom that is now ruling the earth. It's all in the Bible. You've read about that in the Bible. I'm going to repeat it. It's in the book of Luke. It's in the book of Acts. And it's in the book of Matthew about how it is said that Satan is the god of this world. Now, this kingdom of heaven that is going to rule, it's going to pluck out the kingdom and the godliness, or may I call it the ungodliness of Lucifer. You have even seen the blue-eyed boy, the one who is bringing the Valentine. He has worn the suit of Lucifer as the angel of light. And therefore, the message I want to give you is that God has established that kingdom, and the whole world knows the start of the kingdom in this country. We have explained it in so many videos. We are not going to repeat. Now, the whole world knows that, and that is why when we talked about last year that between April and June, the kingdom is going to establish those kings, the leaders of all the intelligence systems, they all feted and dined the current president of Kenya, Ruto, from China to Spain. They have all vetted the president. Actually, the first vetting was done by the former president of America. He was called who? Joe Biden. He vetted him. He signed the Environmental Pact that represents the New World Order. He also signed the LGBTQ Act that represents the worldly order. And since the prophecies said that this country is going to start the process of revival, renaissance, and establishment of the kingdom of Zion, these foreign countries have been interfering with this nation. Now, this is the message I'm giving to the G7 and the G8, to the China and to the Indian government. Already your countries are being hit hard by floods, including Russia. That's why I talked about the G8. Your countries are being hit by fires. Even, may I repeat it? Those countries, and you know them, the G8 plus their affiliates, your countries right now are being hit by severe floods, by severe tsunamis. Water levels are going up to 11 meters and 3 meters. They are being hit by fires. They are being hit by earthquakes. The ring of fire has been activated, and we did give a prophecy that God has poured his power, and the ring of fire will activate, and the Pacific atolls will start volcanic activity. We have also told you there is a super volcano that is coming. Now the message from the Almighty Jehovah through our commander and King Yeshua is this: stop interfering with the security issues of Kenya. Stop interfering with the establishment of the Kingdom of Kenya. From today, as I tell you this, I told you the other day that the multi-headed arrowheads have been unleashed. If you continue interfering with this nation, if you continue interfering with the process of the establishment, the hitting that is occurring, the floods, the deluge, the fires, the earthquakes, the tsunamis are going to increase exponentially, and the human resonance will increase exponentially, and your countries are going to be hit and hit and hit until you will all know that Yeshua is the king and all the kingdoms, as is in Matthew 28:18 and Revelation 21:4 and Revelation 21:6 are under him, and the kingdom is establishing and nobody can stop it. And I want you to read the book of Revelation 21:3. You are God of this world, that is Lucifer and Satan. The war is already going on. It doesn't matter where the naysayers says it is this or this. Those in the spiritual world, those who access the spiritual realm, they know what I'm talking about. The war is on to establish the kingdom, and anybody interfering with it in Kenya, their countries will be hit hard. And I repeat, will be hit harder than they are being hit today. This, I declare, is the order of Melchizedek. I am Wambogo, the Mokui Modo, servant of the Almighty Jehovah, and a close confidant of Yeshua, and the guardian custodian of the altar of the Almighty Jehovah that is in the Mount Kenya, called the altar of the body of Yeshua. It shall remain supreme as the kingdom establishes. As for the rest who believe in the God of heaven and in our Messiah Yeshua, I say shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace, peace, peace. Amani, amani, amani. Dayo, dayo, dayo.
France, the largest fire in 50 years, Kliuchevskoy volcano. The highest danger level, Japan. A historic record of rainfall tragedy in India. A giant landslide, Portugal. A fire tornado. All the details about the major natural disasters of the past week coming up in the report. At the end of the video, you will learn key information that will help you see the true causes of the cataclysms behind the alarming reports and understand what ways there are to prevent them. China. Almost half of China's territory, from the Sichuan Basin to the Huanghui region, was hit by extreme rainfall. Meteorologists emphasized that this year's precipitation is unevenly distributed and has especially high local intensity. On the night of August 7th to 8th, Yuzhong County in Gansu Province and neighboring areas were hit by heavy rains, leading to sudden and extremely destructive floods. In the Xinlongshan area, 220.2 millimeters of rainfall fell, a record for the region. Longtime residents said they had never seen such a powerful rain before. Raging waters carried tons of mud, sand, and debris onto roads. As a result, more than 4,000 people and over 1,300 households were cut off from the outside world. In the village of Maliantan, a landslide occurred. 3 people went missing. In total, the disaster claimed the lives of 15 people, and the fate of 28 others remains unknown. Heavy rains in Guangdong province continued on August 6th. Among the affected was the recently opened water sports center, Beiyang, in Qingyuan Prefecture, which cost more than $4 million to build. The facility started operations on August 2nd, but just 3 days later was hit by the disaster. Powerful rain streams washed away part of the structures. Staff reported that a safety inspection had been conducted before the opening, but the disaster was stronger than expected. On August 7th, in Zhengzhou, Henan province, a red alert was issued due to the heavy rain. Just a few days earlier, the area had been experiencing a drought. Rainfall exceeded 100 millimeters in several districts, leading to the shutdown of businesses and schools, cancellation of public events, and creating life-threatening conditions. Water currents swept away pedestrians, and cars floated like boats. One driver said he was trapped in a tunnel, and within 10 minutes the water almost reached his car windows. Escaping the flooded tunnel, many abandoned their vehicles and used ladders to get out. Volcanic activity. Over the past week, volcanoes in many regions of the planet showed a noticeable increase in activity. On August 6th, the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii erupted again. For 12 hours, lava fountains rose to a height of up to 90 meters. A new crater was formed. On August 8th, the Tilica volcano produced 4 explosions, throwing volcanic bombs 600 meters away and raising an ash column. On August 10th, the Shinmoedake volcano in Japan released a smoke column 3 kilometers high, which led to the announcement of a level 3 alert due to the threat of ashfall. Also on August 10th, Etna in Italy released a powerful lava flow through a fissure on the southern slope at an altitude of 3,000 meters. On the morning of August 11th, the Kliuchevskoy volcano in Kamchatka erupted ash, raising a column to a height of about 12 kilometers. A red aviation danger level was introduced, and residents were advised to wear respirators because of ashfall. Popocatépetl in Mexico on August 11th suddenly intensified. During the day, 46 eruptions and about 11 hours of continuous underground tremors were recorded. The emissions were limited to steam, gases, and a small amount of ash. Russia. In Dagestan on August 10th, a powerful natural disaster struck. In just a few hours, about 80% of the monthly rainfall fell in some areas. The disaster caused significant damage. Water flooded roads and courtyards, swept away cars, and in some places eroded soil and road surfaces. In Makhachkala, the capital of the republic, electricity was partially cut off, causing elevators and water pumps supplying residential buildings to stop. In the Unsukul district, heavy rainfall triggered massive rockfalls and mud flows from the slopes. 4 sections of the Republican Highway were damaged and temporarily closed. Among the blocked structures was the Gimri Tunnel, a main transport artery connecting the mountainous areas with the central part of the Republic. In the Gunib district, strong winds, heavy rain, and hail the size of quail eggs damaged cars, house roofs, and power lines. In Derbent, streets were flooded. In Kaspaisk, a lightning strike hit a substation, causing an explosion, which left the neighboring city of Izberbash completely without water supply. As a result of the bad weather, 676 transformer substations were shut down, leaving more than 130,000 residents without electricity. France. Between August 5th and 7th, the largest forest fire in the country in half a century broke out in the Aude department. The Prime Minister of France called the incident a disaster of unprecedented scale. The Corbières mountain range was engulfed by the fire, which intensified due to strong winds, heat, and drought. In just 2 days, the blaze spread across 16,000 hectares, damaging or destroying 36 houses and dozens of cars in 15 communes. Residents whose homes survived found themselves on scorched land and among ashes, bewildered by what had happened. Thousands of consumers were left without electricity. All the country's forces were mobilized to fight the fire. More than 2,100 firefighters, about 600 units of equipment, as well as helicopters and airplanes were deployed. 2 local residents were injured and hospitalized, and 16 firefighters suffered smoke poisoning. One woman, unfortunately, died after being trapped in her home by the flames. Japan. Since August 8th, heavy downpours have hit the Japanese island of Kyushu, causing large-scale floods and landslides. Roads and residential areas were flooded by rivers that burst their banks. Bridges were destroyed, and hundreds of houses were damaged. In a number of settlements, residents were cut off from the outside world. More than 1,000 people were evacuated. Damage was recorded on several sections of railway tracks, the restoration of which, according to preliminary estimates, will take more than a week. Dozens of flights were also cancelled. In just 12 hours in the city of Kirishima, Kagoshima Prefecture, 495 millimeters of rainfall fell, more than 2.5 times the monthly average, setting a historic record. Because of falling rocks and trees in an auto-camping area near Aira and Kirishima, 40 people, including children, were cut off from the outside world. All were rescued. On a national highway, the roadside collapsed. 2 trucks ended up in the river, and 2 drivers with injuries were taken to the hospital. In the city of Aira, a landslide destroyed a residential house, trapping people inside. 2 people were rescued, 1 is listed as missing. An absolute record since the beginning of meteorological observations was set on August 11th in Kumamoto, where in some places, more than twice the monthly average of rainfall fell in just 12 hours. Raging streams of water swept away 3 people who are now listed as missing. In the city of Yatsushiro, a woman was found unconscious in a flooded car, and in the village of Kosa, a car was caught under a landslide. 3 people were rescued. 1 is in critical condition. India. On August 6th, relentless heavy rains struck the mountainous state of Uttarakhand, leading to a series of floods and landslides. In the village of Kotla, the drinking water supply system completely stopped functioning. Widespread power outages and disruptions in mobile communication worsened the situation. Rescue services are working under constant downpours, and the risk of new landslides threatening the already affected areas. The overflowing West Nayar River destroyed a key bridge that connected villages with the district center in Hauri Garhwal district. The collapse of the Calgary Bridge on National Highway 121 left many villages in the country's interior isolated. In Pauri Garhwal district, 2 deaths were recorded, and a powerful water flow carried away 5 workers, who are listed as missing. A day earlier in Uttarkashi district, extremely heavy rainfall caused the Khir Ganga River to overflow. A wall of water mixed with mud and rocks rushed down the mountain slope, sweeping away everything in its path. In the village of Darali, popular among Hindu pilgrims, the powerful torrent washed away dozens of houses, as well as destroying shops, hotels, and roads. Part of the Bhagirathi River was blocked by mud and debris brought down by the massive wave. As a result, an artificial lake formed, which flooded vast areas, including a government helipad. Officially, 6 deaths and more than 60 missing people have been confirmed. Unofficial reports suggest the number of missing could exceed 100. Over the past 10 years, nearly 3,500 people have died in Uttarakhand due to natural disasters. Since 2010, studies have shown an increase in the frequency and intensity of heavy rains, flash floods, and surface runoff, which have turned the state into a hotspot of extreme hydrometeorological events. Mariana Islands. On the same day, the Mariana Islands region was struck by 2 more powerful tremors. Why this area raises particular concern, see in the video The Day the Earth Was on the Brink, near the island of Guam. The first earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 occurred. Just an hour later, an aftershock with a magnitude of 5.4 followed. Portugal. Since August 9th, Portugal has once again faced a series of wildfires. One of them, extremely powerful, broke out in the area of Moimenta da Beira and came dangerously close to several settlements. The blaze raging in the Alvite area gave rise to a rare and dangerous natural phenomenon, a fire tornado. To extinguish the fire, about 500 rescuers, 124 units of equipment, and 10 airplanes were mobilized. In August of this year, the area burned by fire in Portugal was 6 times larger than in the same period of 2024. Turkey. Near the city of Sindurga in western Turkey, On August 10th, an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 occurred. The epicenter of the earthquake was located at a depth of 11 kilometers. The event was felt in several provinces, including Istanbul, Turkey's largest city. After the main shock, 786 aftershocks were recorded, 17 of which reached a magnitude of 4.0 and higher. After the collapse of a 3-story building, 6 people were trapped under the rubble, one of whom, unfortunately, died. 2 people were injured after entering a mosque building, damaged by the earthquake. The upper decorative part of the mihrab collapsed on them. One of the injured later died in the hospital. 52 people sought medical assistance after the seismic event. Those who were afraid to return home spent the night in the open air. Georgia. On August 9th and 10th, the western regions of Georgia were hit by heavy rains that caused large-scale floods and landslides. In just 2 days, Batumi received almost half of its average August rainfall, 124 millimeters. The resort city experienced a heavy downpour that turned streets into streams of water. Courtyards, basements, and ground floors of houses were flooded, and both central and inner roads were affected. In the Kelva-Chowri district, the rains triggered landslides. Dangerous washouts formed near residential houses, forcing the evacuation of 15 families. In some villages, roads were blocked. It is obvious that natural disasters not only repeat, but also intensify, becoming increasingly extreme and dangerous. Nevertheless, many still fail to notice what is happening, continuing to live in illusions, trusting superficial explanations, or getting carried away by conspiracy theories. Some refuse to believe, some lack access to reliable information, and others receive only fragmented, incomplete, and often